Okay, we're with Scott Larsen. Scott Larsen's up in Tampa Bay. Well, actually, just above Tampa Bay. He's in Newport Richey. It's in Pasco County, Florida. He's about center Florida on the Gulf of Mexico here, and just a beautiful area. Scott fishes all over fresh saltwater up there. He's a pro staffer for Redbone Rods and Impact Lures and a few other companies. Quite a few for me to go through right now. But Scott's going to share some information with us about fishing, doing some bass fishing. I've been watching his Facebook posts, and he's been posting some great videos of bass fishing up and down Florida. Now, Scott, he works a lot of the inland lakes and waterways within communities, golf courses, schools, and stuff like that, and has done a great job of pulling some big bass out of these ponds. And I know Scott likes to use a Redbone rod, a fantastic fishing rod, and he's going to tell us a little bit about bass fishing and using the Redbone rod and using impact lures and just having a good time out here in Florida fishing. So, Scott, if you can, tell us a little bit about how you're getting out there and finding these nice bass in these lakes, bud.
Actually, I'm just driving around and just looking for places you could get permission. I live in a development where I've just got a lot of bass lakes anyway. I actually got one 78-acre lake, and then I got a whole bunch of freshwater ponds around the area. But then I got other communities, they let me fish in them, they don't mind, I ask them. You know, a lot of them are behind the houses and stuff. They know I'll throw the fish back and keep the area clean. You see a sign that says posted, don't fish there.
That's good advice.
Try to find, you'll finally find a couple places where you can fish. Toll road ponds, I pull over, as long as you pull over way off the road, they will not mess with you. First, everybody will leave you alone. They got great bass fishing in them, bluegill, warmouth, catfish. They stock them because for the bug issues, and it keeps the bugs down and the snakes and everything else.
Absolutely. Bass eat just about everything. I'll tell you what, most of the baits that you find really for bass fishing are really designed to look like a bug, a snake, or a frog. So that's definitely a good way to control the population. But I tell you what, too, Scotty was mentioning about, the no fishing signs. Now, keep in mind, folks, that's usually for more than just one reason, not just for the trespass issue, but a lot of these freshwater lakes have overflows that if it rains really heavy, and you kind of slip and you lose your balance and you fall into that little pond, you might get sucked into a pipe and actually spit out a few miles out to sea. So a lot of times when there's a no fishing sign, it's not just because they don't want you trespassing or taking their fish. It's because if you kind of slide and slip, or there's a big alligator or something like that, there's a danger or a hazard. So don't always think that, hey, you know what, I'm going to sneak out there and do some fishing. You might end up hurting yourself, so be careful.
Yeah, it's usually alligators. If somebody's probably been, harassed or bit by a snake and they don't want a lawsuit, and that's what mostly the issues are all about.
Sure, absolutely. But I'm sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You were telling us you're using your Redbone rod and fishing the lakes around your community.
Yeah, the Redbone rod's really great. I love them. I could fish all day. I catch redfish, snook, tarpon, trout with the same rod I use for bass fishing. And it's a really great rod, and it's very inexpensive for $89 at Sports Authority, or you could go online and pick which one you want. But go to Sports Authority if you have one. I've been throwing a lot of impact lures right now. They look like a frog. They're just really great for these ponds around here because most of their food is, snakes and bugs and frogs. So,
a lot of his baits do, like you said, look like a frog or a bug. Ernie over at Impact Lures, he's got that top chopper and very effective bait, the Loxahatchee Walker, and of course that Party Popper. And all, like you said, they're all fashioned to look like bugs. But I'll tell you what, with the Redbone rod, when you're fishing any kind of a wood bait, a topwater bait, and most of these custom baits are wood baits, the baits themselves are pretty heavy. And when you're out there and you're going 2 or 3 hours and you're casting that bait out, if you've got a heavy fiberglass rod, you're going to be in pain by the end of the day. And I'm talking from experience because, I cast a rod for about 2 hours and my shoulder, my elbow, everything hurts. So, these Redbone rods are all graphite. So if you're casting a wood lure for a couple of hours, you're not going to have that pain that you would with a fiberglass rod. And, Scott will tell you. I mean, I know he's no younger than I am. I mean, none of us are getting any younger. And the older you get, boy, the heavier everything feels when you got to carry it around for a while.
Yeah, it does. Because I'm out there. When I go out, I go a little too long. I'm out there 8 to 10 hours. Just searching, and you're throwing that rod all day long, or just sitting there holding it. When I'm in the boat sight fishing, because when I'm inshore, you don't have to throw all the time. Mm-hmm. But bass fishing is so nice because it loads good, especially with a plug or spinner bait or anything. It gets that perfect whip, and where I can chuck that bait a long ways. And I use 15-pound test line to go with my bait casters, and it does really good. I don't get a lot of backlashes or anything, and you could chuck it a long ways.
Now, oh, pardon me. I believe the eyes are set up. Now, those are actually coated or specially designed to handle braided line. So it doesn't cut through them. So it's ready to go, braided line. I've been using that fins. It's kind of new around here lately, and I was able to pick up 300 yards of that stuff for, I think I paid $14 for it, 20-pound test, which was amazing. I mean, I actually got twice as much of it as I would with any normal, market Walmart brand braided line. So
yeah, and that fins is really good. I mean, I fish other brands, and they kind of deteriorate, and lose their color, and they got like a coating on it, and it goes away when I do saltwater. Fins is really good. I still got it on one of the reels, and it's like brand new still.
Yeah, I spun it on one of my spools, and I'll tell you what, I was out the other day trying it out, and I went from, I think I was using Proline 15-pound, and I went to the fins 20-pound braided. And oh boy, I mean, it casted better. It was, it actually casted straight. There was no wind whip, no wind knots, no looping. It was really very good line. I was amazed for the price. I really thought for the price I was going to end up with crap and a bunch of knots, but just beautiful. So yeah, I'll tell you what, for bass fishing, saltwater fishing, that's a good combination. A red bone rod and some good braided line.
It's got Fuji eyes on them red bone rods, and I like the red bone rods because it's got more eyes. So when you got that way, everybody's got 5. Yep. My bait caster's got 10, and the other one's got 6, I think.
Yep. Oh, no, it's great. I like it. And as a matter of fact, I noticed, like you were saying with the rods, I actually have an older fiberglass rod I was using up to a few months ago when my arm gave out on me. And it actually, I think it has 7 eyes on it, but the way it's set up, there's so much distance between the last eye and the reel that when you're doing like top walk and walking the dog, something like that, and you get a little whip going in the tip of the rod, you can end up with a wind knot right around your reel. I mean, it's actually having the right rod. It makes such a difference. I mean, between the weight of the rod, the durability, flexibility, and like you said, the eye arrangement. So when you're looking at those, the arrangement of eyes that are leading up and out of the pole, if they're messy, if they're loopy, if they're too far apart, or there's not enough of them, you're going to end up with a real problem.
Yeah, because it does don't have that extra space in the middle, and it's it's worth the money, and it's $89 ain't bad. I see a lot of people paying a lot more for rods, and the quality ain't there. It's too light. It don't have the right bend in it. The Redbone's got the right bend, and then it goes up and it stays up into that curve. It don't just give out, Yeah, and you got a lot of power in the bend of the horse that fish, but the flexibility. It's really a good rod.
Well, you can really tell the difference. The amount of torque that a fish could pull down. You get a big redfish or a big fighting snook on there, and it doubles over. That rod doubles over. The backbone of the rod does make a big difference. And red bone, and I've seen you use them. I've seen you pulling some big fish with them. And those rods, I mean, they give enough so that you can get some fight out of the fish. You can wear the fish out, but at the same time, you have leverage. You remain really with high torquing ability to pull the fish in, tire them out, and get them on the boat. But it does make a big difference. And I still say, to me, the most important is at the end of the day, my arm doesn't feel like it wants to fall off after casting one of those. So it's that's everything.
Yeah, I know. I like them, man. They got steel seats in the in your reels where it's extra force, like it won't break out. I like the cork handle. I like the extra length in the back too when I'm twitching the bait. Now the smaller spinner's got the short, it's got the shorter butt to it. But I like the longer one because I put it against my arm. Mm-hmm. You'll see in the videos how I fish it and fish the top waters and see how easy. You just don't have to, when you're twitching it, mm-hmm. It's not hurting you.
Yeah, it really does make a difference. As a matter of fact, I was looking at, like I said, some of the videos that you posted on Facebook, and a couple of nice ones. You have this one of when you were fishing one of the, it looks like one of your community lakes. And yeah, I think you were using the Precious. That was one of your impact lures. I know it's one of your favorite impact lure.
Yeah, that chopper, that chopper's probably my favorite. I can't get away from it. It's I don't know, man. It's you just can't drop it because you get such violent strikes out of it.
That's the hardest thing when you're testing baits and trying out different baits. You find one that works and prying yourself away from it to try other stuff. Matter of fact, I know Ernie's been posting some pictures of some soft baits he was playing with, and he hasn't committed himself yet. But let me ask you something. Do you know of anything? Do you think maybe he's coming out with a line of soft baits he's going to introduce? Because they look good.
I think so. They do look good. I don't know.
Nothing?
I haven't heard nothing about it. He always, I tell him something, and then he keeps it a secret, and all of a sudden he's out there playing with it,
Oh, sure.
A different bait color or something like that. You got to try it out first. Look what I got.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it looks. Well, he's a talented engineer. His designs are nice. His lures are beautiful. So he's definitely he's an artist, and he does a great job with it. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope he does. So.
Yeah, I hope he does. There's some good-looking baits there. He does a good job with everything he does.
Let me ask you something, Scotty, because we're kind of running out of time here. Can you give me a little rundown of how the saltwater fishing is out there? You did send us some video. I know you've been on some trout, got some mackerel. A couple of them gave you a run for your money and jumped off the hook on you. But how's it going up there with the fishing?
Yeah, the inshore fishing's getting it's hot out there, so you will need to get out there early. The shark fishing's really good out here. The mackerel's still running. I was on like 1,000 tarpon probably 4 weeks ago, and I couldn't get them to bite because it was so grassy, Mm-hmm. I was trying to throw my top water, and they were daisy chaining. But I did a video a couple days ago for trout fishing when it gets, when it's super hot and, you want to hurry up and get a bite before you go in. Hit about 4 to 8 to 10 feet of water. Get a jig head, 10-pound Tesla braided line or mono, 20 shock leader, a gulp, a Phantom 12, anything that's got a scent to it. Mm-hmm. Add the Procure. But use your red bone rod. That red bone rod, you think, it's too big for the kid. No, it's not. It's actually really light for the kids. I got kids coming down. My cousins are coming down this weekend, and I got to take them out there.
Oh, sure. That's the best part, I think, about trout, even down here in Charlotte Harbor. You get around, like you said, the shoals where they start to drop off, or even the flats inland here. Trout, you get something moving on the water, even if it's a jig, you're bouncing off the bottom. Boy, those trout are just all over it. They're very aggressive and fun to catch. So it's kind of like with ladyfish, too. It's kind of like a go-to fish. If you're not catching nothing, drop a spoon out there and jerk it through the water real quick. Something will hit it, So they're fun.
Yeah, especially up in our area up here, it's really great because you catch sea bass. Mm-hmm. It's definitely the pinfish. Mm-hmm. You catch trout. You actually hook up with a cobia. We do it all the time. We actually, out there, or you hook up with a small shark.
Oh, yeah.
A little small grouper. You catch everything. And actually, I had a couple big mackerel on, and they just popped off, or cut me off. So, but it's so great when you could get the kids or new angler out there with never fished an artificial bait. And you really don't have to pop it. Watching the video, watch how I swim. Mm-hmm. I was actually using a Berkeley gulp, and watch how I'm swimming that bait. Uh-huh. I was throwing at the grass patches out there too, because all the bait fish hang under, and the predators hang in there for like an umbrella, you know,
Sure. Yep.
in shade, and they just wait for anything to swim by. Everybody like, get away from that, and actually fish around them. A lot of trout, a lot of cobia hang under that. But it's just a really good bait, and the rods are really light, so everybody can enjoy themselves out there. But watching the video, I swim that jig actually towards my boat.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to really jerk the rod. A lot of people just, really lay in it, put your rod to the left or the right and real slow, and then wait for it to bend, to load up, and then, kind of give a little set.
Mm-hmm.
But the hooks are so sharp right now that it just automatically pops in their mouth. A lot of them, when you're swimming the bait, the fish is actually swimming towards you. So you're missing fish. You're actually popping it out of their mouth every time you're popping it. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. I know exactly what you're saying. You're kind of pulling it right out of their mouth when they're trying to eat it. Yep.
I just learned over the years what they're doing. So you'll see me just pulling it easy and just start real, and they'll load up, and you get the fish, and you won't hurt them neither,
Yeah. I know what you're talking. It's kind of like that pause when you're working freshwater for a bass with the rubber worm. You feel that little pull, and if you pull too quick, you just pull the worm out of its mouth. But you kind of give it a little lay down and then jerk it back, and you're on. So yeah, I can see what you're saying. You don't want to get in too much of a hurry and take the bait away from the fish. Yep.
Yeah, because they're aiming right at you, and when you're like fighting a big trout and they get on the top water and they shake,
mm-hmm.
When they're pointing at you, don't be pulling on them really hard, because that bait's gonna slingshot out their mouth. Wait till they start turning and then put the heat on them. And that's every fish. I learned over the years, because I lost so many fish in my, big fish, and just getting excited trying to get that fish in, and then there goes my lure. It pops right out of their mouth. I'm like, no, no, not again. And then I'm like, hey, look what you're doing. You're ripping it out of their mouth.
Well, let me ask you this, because I don't want to forget. You sent me a video of, it looked like first you were following a shark, and then it turned around and it started following you. What was that?
That was cool. I was just, scouting the area for my cousins and see what I'm going to do for them, and trying to get pictures and videos. And I saw that big nurse shark, and oh man, that's just so great. But the bad point in it wasn't so great. Everybody's out there swimming in the beach out there free. I saw 3 bull sharks too, and one was 11 foot.
Oh wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, I kind of warn people out there, hey, kind of stay in close. There ain't no sharks out there. Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you something, Scott. Now, when I was, I must have been about 19 years old. A friend of mine got his pilot's license, and he took me out on one of those little Cessnas up over Boca Grande. And
oh man!
Well, we're going along from Boca Grande right up around Minnesota Key and this whole area on the coastline, and I'm looking down, and you could see the people swimming, along the beach. And I go, I look down and go, Kurt, what are those lines? It looked like these islands and stuff. He goes, well, those are sharks. I go, get out of here! I mean, there must have been hundreds of them. And he gets down lower, and I mean, I guarantee you, they were all within about a football field of where the swimmers were swimming along the shoal. But there were sharks everywhere, and I thought, wow, I never imagined there were that many sharks in the water.
I know. I love catching them too, but everybody, they need to be, I don't know why. The bull shark I worry about, but it's so crazy because I got areas up here that's real deep by the beaches, and we'll catch shark, after like the second or third shark we catch, you see the beach thinning out a little bit.
Yeah, it's hysterical. Well, I used to go diving over at the phosphate docks in Boca Grande, and to go under there, the hammerheads are all over the place there. And man, anytime you go diving out there, I mean, I remember Tom Fisher. He was a dive instructor here in Charlotte County. Matter of fact, his son is I believe it's Fishbone Charter. He's a charter captain here.
Yeah, I heard of them.
Yeah, Tom, a great bunch of people, great family. And I remember him telling us in a dive class that when you go diving at Boca Grande, even though you don't see a shark, I could guarantee you that 20 or 30 sharks have seen you while you're diving. And he said, so, you don't have to be afraid of them. You just have to be careful. You've got to, if you see one that looks a little aggressive, get in between the pylons. But it's these guys that have been around for generations. They're like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of sharks in these waters.
You're a lot braver than I gotta, snakes and sharks. I don't know what it is. I'm out there wading. Here comes one. I don't know why. You ain't gonna see me diving out there, Frank.
No, there's some big ones. I mean, I like to wade the flats around here, and
wow.
when you're making noise, especially topwater noise, and you're wading, or I'm sure the kayakers see a lot too. They will come up. I mean, sharks are not known for not being curious and brave. So they will come up.
Exactly, because that's what happens. Because I'm always throwing that top water inshore. And that's what it is. They're falling that bait in, and you're right. They after that noise, and that's why I don't wade anymore. Because every time I'm throwing that top water, they mess with me, and
Oh yeah.
And I won't put fish on me either. When I used to wade either. I did one time, and I actually had a shark take it off my stringer.
Oh yeah, you bet.
And then after that, I was, didn't learn my lesson. Nothing, there wasn't a shark around. The fish hit me in the back, and I scared till I thought I was just a trout.
I tell you what, I was diving a few years ago with my father at El Jabin at the train trusses there. And he was he was spearfishing some sheephead, and he had some jack or something. And at the time, he would actually tie him to his weight belt and on a stringer. And I was up on the boat, and he jumped onto the boat, and he looked at me. My father was in the Merchant Marines. He's diving in some of the scariest places in the world. He was pale as a ghost. And what happened? And he pulls the stringer up, and he's got nothing but a couple of heads stuck to it, where a hammerhead came up and just took it off his side. And he looked at me, he says, "I'll never do that again." Boy, I tell you what.
Ain't it weird? And he just, he just ate it like candy bars and left the head. Didn't even hurt the diver, but he just wanted that food.
That's it. They smell it and they hear it and they're on it, baby.
Yeah, he's so lucky, man. He didn't, but they just want that fish.
That's true. Usually, if you make like bait, we use Procure, we use loud topwater baits. So you're creating that whole scenario for a predator to come and get it.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that video for you. I loved it because I love sharks. They're great animals. You need to take care of them.
Yeah. They're part of the estuary. It's somebody posted one of those lionfish this morning in Facebook that we're trying to get rid of. And I think they're South American, but they're a pretty fish, but just a nasty predator. And there's a local restaurant that actually started serving lionfish on the menu to help try to deplete the population. And so it's like I said, the natural predators here, the sharks and stuff that have been here, you just got to have respect. You got to be careful and be smart. It just my father tying live bait to his side and going in the water ain't smart. It's just not something that you do. But I tell you what, Scotty, I've got to get going. I think we've been going for about a half hour here, but we're probably going to get back to you. Scotty's getting a bunch of video and pictures together. We actually have a great database. It's actually a portfolio of pictures and videos for our pro staffers. So if you go to fishyfins.com and you click on Scotty's channel on the left, you can see all the pictures that he's uploaded, all the videos, and actually see the lures that he used. Click on that lure and see all the fish that he's caught with that lure, or click on the fish and see all the fish that he's caught with, or all the lures he's used to catch that specific species. And you can even buy the bait if you want to. So it's very cool. So check it out. And we're going to have a lot more stuff coming up. Scotty's just, he gets some great video. I mean, really awesome stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of the video Scotty has coming. Great stuff. Thank you, Scotty. I sure appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, no problem, Frank. I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
And I'll tell you what, let's plan. I know we've all got a busy 4th of July, and everybody get out there, get together with your friends, take dad fishing, take mom fishing, take everybody fishing. But we're going to get together after the 4th, and I think I'm going to plan a fishing trip and show with Scotty somewhere here in the Gulf Coast of Florida. So we're going to do one of our sit-down shows and out fishing shows, and then finish it up at the end of the day with the Guinness and a little talk about the fishing day. So we're going to have that coming up too pretty soon.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I can't wait. And plus, if you have any questions or you need any help with any lures, or if you need instructions how to fish the bait, just give me a ring on the Facebook or text me or whatever, and I'll try to help you out.
Absolutely. And if you go to fishyfins.com, click on Scotty's channel, and then you could click on a direct link into his Facebook page. Now, the reason why we put those links in our website like that is I'm noticing that as pro staffers get more popular, people try to duplicate their names in Facebook so that you mistakenly like the wrong person. And so when you're going through Facebook, double check when you're liking and checking out people's stuff that it's actually the person that you think it is and not somebody spoofing on them. So, one of the reasons why is we actually put that link there. If you want to check out Scotty's stuff, of course, Scott Larsen, type in his name in Facebook and you'll find him. Or you can go to fishyfins.com, click on his channel, and go right into his page from Facebook there. So, great stuff, Scotty. I sure do appreciate it, bud. Great videos, great shows, great pictures. Really looking forward to getting together and doing a little fishing.
Thanks. Yeah, I can't wait either. And I'm trying to get more videos for everybody. And I'm enjoying the videos and I'm enjoying it.
Yep. Getting the word out there, folks. Get out and go. You live in Florida. It's crazy. You work so long. You work so hard. Take your time off and get out and go fishing. Enjoy the water. Enjoy the Gulf Coast. Just beautiful. So, we'll talk to everybody probably within about a week or so. We'll get together with Scotty. Again, Scotty, thanks again, buddy. You have a great week and a great holiday if I don't talk to you before.
All right. Thank you.